I'm going crazy. 무뎌져.
Does anyone know about Proclitic? The professor standing in class asked students. No one raised their hands, so the professor shook his head and answered. According to scientific research, it is having an erotic attraction to a person's lips. Hearing this, many of students chuckled and many heard it in amaze. While a group of students sitting at the back started to talk and whisper, I'm having a great idea in my mind, bro. And what's that new shit now? Yeah, Jungkookff. He called his other friend, what? George smirked and wiggled his eyebrow. Well, being a college heartthrob, the task isn't difficult for you. What task? One of Jung's best friends asked. Jung raised his eyebrow at his silly friend. It's not like you haven't kissed anyone before, right? Mark chuckled at them and shook his head, knowing Josh very well how his mind is. Yeah, why? Perfect. That means I'm not ruining your first kiss then. What do you even mean? I mean, why don't Jungkook dare someone? And if he did, then today's launch is on me, Jung's head snapped to his friends. Are you joking? No, I'm not. And hear the girl's name, bro. Jung rolled his eyes and Josh said the name of the girl, Ruwan. Jung's eyes sweetened as he gulped a lump in his throat. His head tilted to a girl named Ruwan sitting in his class at the middle seat in the third row, all concentrated on Professor. Jimin looked at Jungkook. The look in his eyes which only Jung can understand. Jung nodded to Jimin and Jimin sighed, sitting back with a chair, as he knew something and didn't want Jung to do that. Okay, I'll do it, but then you have to pay for our lunch. Deal, bro. Now focus on studying, you all. After a while, Jungkookff was walking alone. He was going to the basketball court for practice until he passed through the library. His step halted when he saw her sitting alone on a corner table and reading a book with her whole focus on it. His tongue swirled over his lips and his eyes shone. Looking at her peacefully, it was like not all quiet around so peacefully, only her and him were the main character in the spotlight. He became attentive when she stood up from her seat with her book and walked into a shelf full of books and quickly went inside the library where only a few students were sitting, all focusing on their study. Walking in between shelves, we found her standing in front of a big shelf. Looked like she was looking for a book. Jung walked to her, standing just beside her. He cleared his throat, taking her attention, which he got instantly. You turned to see him standing just behind you, that there was only an inch distance between both of you. You looked at him, he was staring back at you. His big doe eyes were a caution for you sometimes, but most of the time you ignored it, thinking it's nothing, but today you saw them again in front this close. Need help? His question led you out of your thoughts. You nodded slowly and looked at the upper shelf. I want that book but can't reach. Your cheeks turned red and about your lower lip, being embarrassed because of your short height, but hearing him chuckle, you looked at him with your round, beautiful eyes. Let me help you. You were standing there and he came close to you, stretching his arm up, picking up that specific book with a smiling face. He pulled back his arm with a book in his hand until he saw how close you and him were. Your arms were on your chest while you were looking down, biting your lower lip, being shy with closeness. He can smell your fragrance that was making him mind go crazy. He licked his lips, staring at your lips. Gulping, he placed one hand on the shelf, almost trapping you between. You slowly looked up at him, meeting his gaze, which was fighting an urge to lean and take your lips in between them. You noticed how his eyeballs were shifting from your lips to eyes. His whole mighty breath hit your face and was slowly coming closer, more to your face. Your breath became heavy as you felt butterflies in your stomach, your heart thumping so fast that maybe he was able to hear the beating sound. You blinked your eyes, and in a blink his lips were just on your lips. His pink soft lips brushed over your lips. You know what was going on. It wasn't like you were not aware or at least tried to know what's going on to happen further, but still your heart was screaming to give in. With a gulp, you looked at his eyes, which were already closed. You smelled his fragrance with a manly, fruity, and lavender one. It gives peace to your mind that you forgot about your surroundings. His lips crashed on yours. Your eyes closed shut, feeling his soft lips on yours. He slowly moved his lips on yours while he didn't move even an inch. First, he took your upper lips in his lips, sucking on it, and then lower lip. It was like he was following a rhythm of pleasure. You got an urge to taste his lips too, so you moved your lips with his, taking his lower lips between your lips and brushing your tongue on it. You felt him smiling in between. As you won a trophy or something, his one hand grabbed your neck, pressing his lips more on yours. His whole body pressed on yours, your hand clenched over the frock that you were wearing. You felt your knees getting weak as his knees poked in between your thighs. You had an urge to close your thighs together and rub them. Tilting his head, he made his more seamy and sloppy sound left your lips until you reached out of breath, breathing heavily. He broke, licking his lips. He pressed his thumb on your swallowed lips. Your whole face is red and full of sweat. Your chest rising up and down, you both realized what just happened, looking in each other's eyes. Suddenly, someone entered the same shelf section that you both looked away, pretending to find a book. Jung, you here? Let's go. Boys are waiting. Jung sighed. It was his friend. He nodded to him and looked at you, was side-eyeing him. He gulped and went away as his hand brushed with yours. You left the library and you were still processing everything until your eyes fell on the floor and you saw a bracelet which was sparkling. You remembered this bracelet belonged to Jungkookff. Picking it up, you stared at it and then left the library. Whoa, bro, I didn't expect you to complete the dare this soon. His friend teased him, laughing. That wasn't difficult, and she... Before he said more, he looked at Jimin, who was almost glaring at him. Huffing out, Jung went to him. Jimin held his wrist and whispered, "You said you will not do it again." Jung looked away, biting his lips, as he remembered that same scene from the library. It had already been hers, that the movement was playing again and again in his mind, that he wanted to taste those lips again right now. Jungkook, I'm talking to you. Jimin spoke in harsh tone. I know Hyung, and I'm not playing with her. Jimin scoffed. I will only advise you for your own better. It will be better if she doesn't get to know about the dare, or she will think so wrong of you, and her feelings will be hurt too. I know. I'll take care of it. You better do. It was evening time when you were sitting in your room thinking about something. That thing was him. That moment in the library was staying in your mind like super glue. Whenever you close your eyes, that scene repeats. While talking to another person, you start to think about him and that moment. It was like you were caged by him. You had his bracelet in your hand. You thought about giving him his bracelet, so you were up from your bed and went out from your room. Mom, I'm going to our neighbor's house. You yelled to your mom. Okay, come soon, honey. And greet Mrs. Jones from my side too. Okay, well, I forgot to tell you, Jungkook is your neighbor's son too. You entered his home and found his mother, who was baking something in the kitchen. She greeted you smiling and invited you for dinner too. But you told her that you only wanted to return Jungkook his belonging he accidentally left in college. You walked towards his room and knocked on it. Ush, Mom, when did you start to knock on my room door? He opened the door with an annoying face, but was frozen when he saw you. You looked behind him and saw he was playing games on the computer. That's why he was annoyed. When you looked down and pulled something out from your pocket. He looked at your hand and saw his bracelet. His eyes widen when he remembered he dropped it in the library and he thought someone stole it in the changing room. Oh, my bracelet, thanks. Thank you very much. That's so special to me. I can't explain. He got the bracelet from your hand and wore it smiling. You smiled too, seeing his funny smile. Is it that special? You asked curiously. He nodded. Yeah, someone so close to me made this. It's a handmade gift. Oh, you gulped as a question stuck in your mind. Who gifted him that? A girl or a boy? He is the heartthrob of college. Many girls must have gifted him many things. Was it a girl or a boy? You slapped yourself mentally on asking silly questions. Jung smirked after hearing your question. He leaned over a wall, folding his many arms. Why do you want to know? What if it's a girl? You looked away, being flustered by his continued gaze. I need to go by, but before you can walk away, you are pulled in his room and your back was pushed to the wall. He trapped you in between and crushed his lips on yours, your eyes widen as he hungrily started to devour your lips. It was difficult to reach his pace. His pace slowly got normal from hungry ones. It was like he was hungry for his favorite meal. Not able to control you, Gave in, moving your lips, he grabbed your waist, pressing his lower body on yours. You pulled your arms and circled them around his neck. Your figure was almost hidden under his. He slipped his tongue in your mouth, sucking on your tongue. Detaching your jaw and neck, rubbing his nose or your skin, breathing heavily with you. He whispered something while brushing his lips on yours, then made you confused and shocked. Your beautiful and juicy lips make me crazy every time I see you, and I grab your neck and you until we become out of breath. The sweat was so hot and while coming out of his mouth. You stole my first dream, you said while touching your lips. Unintentionally, you licked your lips and they tasted sweet. Lips stretched up, in your words, and he chuckled. But you said the first one was an accident. He was too close to you, still you have no space to move. Yes, but. You wanted to say more, but words were stuck in your mind that were already through accident when he visited your home and accidentally you both fell in his. But it doesn't mean you felt nothing when he kissed you. You don't want to call it meaningless. You are not playing right now. You look in his eyes, asking his eyes were telling you he isn't. Every time you both means more than something less than normal, but you want to hear those words from his mouth. He huffed out and looked at you. I don't know how to put these feelings together, but even before you kissed accidentally, I have always noticed you. But when my feeling became more prominent, I want to experience that thing again and again. Your lips left stardust on my lips and the taste of nectar in my mouth, and when the second time, it was like there's poetry and addiction on each other's lips. My lips are thirsty for the taste of your lips again and again. Hearing him, you bite your lower lip, looking down shyly. Don't bite that lip, I wanna do that. Saying this, he again attached lips onto yours. You smile into. The next day, you're passing through the corridor and smiling to yourself, remembering that the actual heck happened yesterday, but suddenly you are stopped by someone. Oh hey, you're Jung's friend, right? Sitting in your class, you are focused on your book when Jungkook and his friend entered the class. Damn, today's practice was so. He brushed his hair back, feeling tired. Well, Jungkook, didn't she question you about yesterday? Mark asked when he saw you sitting peacefully. Jungkook told Mark to shut up. You told her about the dare, right? Bro, tell her that what dare before she took you wrong. Patting his shoulder, his friend went away, not noticing your gaze on him. Jungkook, when he saw you, heard everything. Picking your bag up, you walked out of the class and quickly followed you. Why listen to me first, please. You stopped at your place. He quickly ran to you and stood facing you, breathing heavily. Caught your shoulder. You just gave him your cold face. He was cursing at himself internally so badly. Please, that's right, they gave me a dare, but you didn't even tell me that it was there. I told you not to play with me and you, but before you say more, he placed his lips on yours. Stop, don't say more, he whispered with his lips on yours. Yesterday, whatever I said was true. I chose to do that because it was you whom I have. If it was another girl, I wouldn't have accepted it, I swear. And somehow I got you, so I became greedy, started looking down. Then who gave you that bracelet? He said snap to you. He laughed. You're still jealous? Oh my. But you became embarrassed. I smell love. Hobie had gifted me that on my birthday. That's why it's special. He laughed at you, and now you wanna dig your grave right now in here. You didn't tell me how you feel about me. He raised his eyebrow, asking. Well, he looked here and there and tiptoed, gripping his collar. You placed your lips over his, taking him off guard. He smiled, understanding you and pulling you in more, gripping your waist. Breaking, you said. Actually, Jimin already told me about there and said that she really likes me. Jung's eyes widened. Yeah, Jimin said.